The tea is served. Let's get into it.
So what are we talking about today, Brian?
Today we're going to be talking about our cashier horror stories.
Mm-hmm. We worked as cashiers together at the same big department store. It's technically a department store, right? The same store. We're not going to say which one. But it's like a big one. They got groceries and clothes and stuff. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever been to one, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I've actually been a cashier at 3 different places.
Yeah. I've never been a cashier other than at that place. Worst decision of my life.
Still going back, though, for that good paycheck over the summer.
You know that they make up for their cruelty in that good paycheck.
We gotta take our time, enjoy our tea.
I think you should start with
the enema?
The man. Yeah. The man, the myth, the legend.
So, as a cashier, my position that I requested was to be a worker in the area where you scan your own groceries, because I thought that that would be the position that I had to do the least amount of work in, and I was right. So I would be standing there, minding my business, you know, not working, probably not, bouncing a bouncy ball usually. And sometimes customers would come up to me and ask for my assistance. And as it was my job, I would oblige. And one day, in the middle of the summer, this man came up to me and said, "Hi, I am a customer at this large store, and I need your help to find something." And I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And he said, "I need an enema." And I said, "Very well." And he said, "An enema is something you use." And I was like, "That's enough, sir. I know what an enema is." And I showed him to them. They were in the pharmacy section. And the next couple of times that this lovely gent came to see me at my job, he would say very loudly, "Oh, hey, you're the cashier who helped me find my enema. Thanks." To which I would reply, "My pleasure."
What's my best story? Probably the exploding root beer, right?
Good stuff.
Okay. So one time, I was at work, and a lot of the cashiers were too young to sell, like, cigarettes and stuff, because it's, like, a cashier job, and a lot of, like, high schoolers work there. So usually, like, some of, like, the older adults who work there, or, like, me or Brianna, would get put on the cigarette lines. And so one day, me and another girl that we went to high school with and graduated with us, were working the 2 lines that you can buy cigarettes in, and she was in, like, the actual line, and I was in the other one. And someone came through her line, and the belt, the reason why it's important that it's a cigarette line is the belt is shorter, and so people try and, like, stack their groceries up there, but they run out of room, and so they get impatient, and they, like, put them up there weird. And so this lady came up, she was putting her groceries up there, she had this big 2-liter of root beer, and she tried to, like, shove it on, like, the belt that was already full, and she just kind of, like, had it on the side, so it was, like, sort of, like, half on the belt, half on, like, the metal part. And so when the belt moved forward, the root beer tipped like this, fell cap down, hit the ground, exploded. I feel something splatter on my back, like, back of my arms, and I hear it splatter onto, like, the side of, like, the thing where the register is, and, like, all this other stuff. And I was like, So I turned around, and I see some sort of, like, projectile about 10 to 15 feet in the air, like, up above the light where the sign is and everything, all above that, and it comes clattering down, And I look and I see, that's a root beer bottle. And I look closer at the ground and it is covered in all 2 liters of the root beer, as well as all the cigarettes that were in the cigarette line, the cashier who had sold them, and mostly the lady and her daughter who were trying to buy the root beer. And so the girl, the cashier that was working with us, turns around and she calls over one of the managers who's up there. And the manager can't see the spilled root beer because you know how cigarette lines are. They're like all kind of blocked in. And so she is like, what do you need? And she comes around and she sees the root beer everywhere and she was like, oh my god. And so then I had to sell cigarettes that were sticky for the rest of the day and it was horrible.
Yeah, me. Oh my god, I had one crazy lady multiple times. I shouldn't say crazy. She was eccentric. I liked her. So we live, the town we like grew up in, the town we live in, is kind of like a small town, farming community type town. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. And I had this one lady who came through my line multiple times, and I think it was because I was the only one who would really deal with her crazy. But every time she came into the store, it didn't matter, like, what was going on outside, like, what the weather was like. It didn't matter, like, what day of the week it was. Every time she came in, she was wearing, like, the same outfit. It was, like, outfit, I guess. But it was, like, full camo, like, jumpsuit with, like, combat boots, with, like, camo hat thing situation, and she had, like, paint on her face every time. And she would buy, like, duct tape. She would buy, like, survival materials. I don't know. She would buy, like, full cases of water and, like, duct tape. And, like, canned food. She was preparing for the apocalypse.
Obviously.
She told me so. And she would just, the whole time you check her out, she would just spout this conspiracy theory, big government nonsense to me. And I'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, definitely, like, yes. It's so scary. I want to remember, like, some of the crazy stuff she told me. I don't know. She told me, she told me in one of our many visits that the government was watching her because of something she'd said, or like the way that she was taking care of her cows or something. I don't know. She was like, hey. I was like, what? She was like, hey, the government is watching me with drones. And I was like, the government? And she was like, yeah. They're like gonna probe me or something. I don't know. She was like, they're trying to get rid of me. They're trying to, like, assassinate me. And I was like, well, you've made me an accessory to your crime. Like, wow. Bye. Have a nice day. Thank you for coming. She was awesome. She was great.